Right, that's us live. It might take us a minute or two to get a couple of people, but aye, that team, Finlay Curtis, man, I don't get that at all.
I reckon they're going to send that boy out on loan in January. It's the only way he's going to get game time.
Aye, there is that. I never even
You know,
thought about that, but aye, you're right. Aye, because I've said a few times the only shining light during the Martin years was that young kid. You know, it was me and you at 18-year-old or 17-year-old, whatever it was, living a dream. You know, and that night I can't remember the European team he gave, but I was right down it. He scored that goal, and at the end he's waving at his mum and dad, and he's not even on a bench. You know, I don't get. See, we were talking off here, and I wasn't in the camp of Thelwell has influence in the team, but he obviously does, man. And I think for want of a better words, plural, green cheese. It's because it's not one of his purchases. He pushes him out.
yeah. I think the other loan deals. I think they're all sort of they'll be structured with a contract, and it
Aye,
and it'll be they must play X amount of minutes or X amount of games, and I reckon that's maybe why it's sort of stifled Finlay Curtis.
aye.
You know,
Because I
Mikey
think,
Moore's starting to come onto a game, so that's maybe going to put him down even further.
aye, absolutely. And it was Ricky Neal told me Mickey Moore's contract is 22 games. But the thing is, if we send a player out to United, we expect him to play. But it's just we've got too many loans.
Yeah,
I know. See this gentleman here. I know. Me too, Hobbsy. It's like I know. Aye, it's like John says. Maybe he's going out on loan. He'll need to go out on loan. I mean, Mike Minder. I mean, is he going to ask for to get to leave or? I don't get this at
yeah.
all.
This is a problem that that it's not just Rangers that's got the problem. Most clubs have got the problem, but that we sign all these young boys and we try to develop them, and how many really come into the team? Who was the last one Rangers player to come in through the
Hartson,
reserves?
maybe.
You know what I mean? It's really difficult,
It
and
is.
I think all we do is we prepare them for other clubs. We get them all ready, and then they go and play other clubs. You
Aye,
know?
I know. And the thing is, if they come like that's it, but they come through and like, what's the wee boy's name from Salcoats? That went to Chelsea. He get millions. They bought his mom and dad a new house. I think his brother
Yeah,
and sisters get houses and all that. And
yeah,
see if somebody's going to throw you 2 million signing on fee at 16, 17, you be I'd bet like that to my son.
yeah,
You're taking that right now
yeah,
because his
yeah,
first game he might get snapped. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Absolutely.
And I mean, I know there's some Rangers fans. Oh well, but you're not a real Rangers fan. No, I've lived life a bit, and I know money is number one.
Yeah.
You know,
Aye.
right, there's something right
I
here.
mean,
Oh, I go on.
the playing for the jersey bit now is, you look at Rangers now, there are that many different nationalities playing for us. The playing for the
Yeah.
jersey part, it's just not there anymore.
No,
I don't
John,
I don't think it's there.
John, I don't think it's been there since Graham Souness signed England captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest. You know what I mean? And because see when and I mean this is I've brought this up a few times. Soon as changed and Lawrence Marlborough and David Holmes changed everything. It was us that we didn't change football, but it was us that started throwing the big wages. Because from what I understand, I think Trevor Steven was the highest paid player in the world at one point when he was with us. You know what I
It might
mean?
be,
It was
aye.
I, but this is right here we go. What's this chat? I'm trying to. There's something not quite working with my. Helps if I switch the pen on. Disagree. Right, where are we going? Gosh. I know. It's a difficult one.
That's true. I'm not disagreeing with Stuart. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that they'll come in and they'll get one or two games and then they disappear and then they end up with other clubs. That's what I'm trying to say. I know the
Aye.
boys will give everything for the jersey. I'm talking about the guys that we sign for other clubs,
Aye.
your Jiggers and all these guys. End of
Aye.
the day, they lose a game or draw a game, they just get home and forget about it. I think.
Aye. Aye.
You know?
Whereas I don't like to contradict myself about the people not playing for the jersey. McCoy's, Durante, Fergie, and all that. They all have been very good wages. I know for the fact the goalie, they used to just go home after a defeat against that lot and just be raging. You know what I mean? And they've
Yeah,
told me that
yeah.
themselves when in the out in Hong Kong. It was. I'm just going to try something here. Can you see that, John?
Aye. Well, I can't
Aye.
see the print, it's too small.
Do you know what? I don't think that really does any good. That aye. But I was like I say, I'm still learning all this stuff. It's just difficult. But today's team, right? Well, I'm sure most have seen it. I'll read it out. Butler in goal, Tav, Suter, Cornelius, Magoma, Diomande, Raskin, Moore, Danilo, Gasim, and Mayovsky. You know, and the subs are Kelly, Deja, Aarons, Barron, Benjami, Ant-Man, Asgard, Cameron, Shermite. You know, so we'll see what happens. I think it looks a 4-4-2 to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's still trying to find out his best, who's
Aye.
the best up top. You know what I mean? We seem to be we're struggling up there, and he's going to have to make. He's going to have to, in my opinion, is pick somebody and just stick with them for a few games.
Aye, but I think he's kind of said himself rotation is his thing. But I mean, this is still bugging me about Finlay Curtis. I can't get this out of my head. But today, am I right in saying Dundee have not lost at home this season?
Well, I don't know the stat for that.
I believe so. I think so. I think somebody said that. I mean, what's this? Somebody will correct me on I've been beaten 7 times at home. But I mean, it's not often. Who's Hearts got again today?
Oh.
I can't remember. It doesn't matter anyway. But at the end of the day, all we need to do is look after our own council. Go and win. Excuse me. It's going to. I've got my nose is streaming here because of the humidity. But the one thing is, just go in, even if it's a 1-0 boring. Dundee United, right? Even if it's a 1-0 boring win, that's all that matters. Like, I'm kind of past the stage of being all right with draws. We need wins. Period.
Aye, definitely. Yeah. What gets me is we've only lost one game. You know, we've lost one game less than Celtic, and we're 5 points behind them. You know,
that's quite a mental stat, isn't
the
it?
draws have killed us.
I know, and the thing is, it's I was sitting hammed at the Aston Villa game. The thing is, sorry, what did you say there? Sorry, I can't do 2 things at once.
Cameron should be starting, and Curtis is not on the bench.
Aye, it's mental. And Young, what's his chops? I'm all over the place here. Sorry, it's just this bloody cat. Not the best of starts tonight. What's his name? Connor Barron's been. There we go. Barron isn't playing. Barron's been playing his heart out. I wasn't sold on Barron, but this year he's been pretty good. Like,
Agree with that.
aye, but it's because he tried his heart out. And he has a bear as well, isn't he, from what I believe.
Cameron, I don't really know, but he should be a bear now if he wasn't.
Aye. If we get Cameron Curtis, that's a great point there by Stuart. Cameron Curtis, Moore, I know. And I've been disappointed in Ant-Man though, because remember that first game he came in, he stepped off the plane, put his boots off, and was absolutely brilliant. Then that poor bag, that idiot got a hold of him.
I don't think his body language isn't good to me, Ant-Man. I think he looks as if he doesn't want to be there now.
Aye.
You know, I think he's signed and then he's went, oh, this is looking good the first game, and then all of a sudden, you know, the fans are protesting, everything's gone sort of belly up. It just looks to me as if he's gone on the pitch and okay. I'm not saying he's not trying, but his body language isn't like I'm getting right in the other day.
Absolutely. Maybe there's a bit of homesickness and all that. We've got to forget that. I mean, me and you work away from it. Doesn't bother me, you know. But I mean, I've never suffered from homesickness, but there might be that factor that, you know, that's something else we need to Mioski, I agree with that one. Yeah. Oh, aye.
But we need to win the day. So we've got to win the day.
Aye.
Otherwise, we're just going back to the sort of inconsistency.
It is, isn't it? Aye. But like I say, Raskin, because remember, Raskin had the fallout with the haircut. Come
Yeah,
back, had a great one game, and he's been missing since. And it's a shame because, and he's still getting picked for Belgium, which which is, I mean, Belgium are no mugs. I know I was Rothwell. Well, that's kind of the fact that Thelwell signed him and he's been dropped out. Does that maybe help dispel the myth that Thelwell has something to do with picking the team, unless he's injured?
I think that's a sort of hard one to sort of
I,
get to the bottom of. Is he picking the team, or what influences he got on the team? I would think Danny Rowe would say, look, this squad of players, you need to leave me to pick them. Otherwise, what's the point of me being there?
Aye.
But there's definitely a lot of Thelwell signings in there as the sporting director or whatever he's meant to be. His role is.
Because I don't care who you are, Danny Rowe, he's not going to come in and get, even though he's young, be told who he's got to pick. There's no way, especially being German as well, because the Germans are German. You know what I mean? And I mean that in an extremely positive way. Not in any bad way. They he wouldn't get bullied. I think that's the word. Yeah, that's right. Nah, he can't be picking a team. I mean, Danny Rowe will know that loan signings need to be played because they're contractually says, and he'll have come in with his eyes wide open, because that'll be the same in Germany. Look, he was a assistant or a coach at Bayern Munich. They'll have loaned players out to X, Y, and Z teams in the Bundesliga too. He's no stupid. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I've seen it. I've seen it. Let's be honest, there has been a better attitude from the players since he came in.
Since Danny Rowe came in, yeah, absolutely. I think there is. I think we can forget about Europe. You know what I mean? This season, I think that's gone. We just need to sort of,
absolutely.
We want to win all these games and we want to compete, but at the end of the day, we've got to do it in Scotland first before we can think about Europe. And we need to get back in a situation where we're challenging and we're going out and winning cups and leagues and whatever.
Absolutely. There we go. That's about better. It's it's just, I mean, it's winning. And what I did like about Rowe was he said, "Listen, winning is what I want to do first. Just win games. The beautiful, fancy stuff. Not that he said that, but words to that effect. The attractive football can start later." And I would even put that down to next season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think we would. Us as a fan base would be too bothered if the football's no great. See if we're racking up 3 points every week. I think that would turn the fans. The fans would go, okay, then it's not great, but we're winning.
Aye. I mean, and let's remember, John, during 9. Sorry, on you go.
On you go, mate.
During 9 in a row, some of the football was terrible. We forget that. Like when we talk about 9 in a row, those that didn't see it, sometimes we paint a rosy picture there. Some of the games were crap, but we won.
No, well, you couldn't really have every game. I mean, that season we done the 44 unbeaten run, 92.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were outstanding that season. That was the season with the Champions League with Marseille and that. But it's difficult to perform every game, but we should be winning, I reckon, about 80% of the games, 90% of the other games.
Absolutely.
Without even, that's what we should be doing.
Aye, absolutely. And there's a point with the Jamie. That 4-4 split. Here we go. He's not fit enough the last 30 football. He did well at Leeds last season. Rothwell, I know, because all the Leeds fans and it was at Bournemouth we actually got from whoever we got from all raved about him. They said, "Listen, you've got a footballer there, good engine." And the thing is, he was great with dead balls. But I made a post today about because I read a thing about from Carragher about. And other players, pundits have said, they don't like the long throw. I think it's a brilliant tool to have in the box.
Aye. Anything that gets the ball into the box, you should be going for it, you know what I mean?
I know. I know. The other thing is, that was my point. See, during 9 in a row, anywhere, people say now, look, Rangers are playing against 10-man defences. We've always had to do that. And it'll have been the same since Rangers were founded. The better teams are always... It's up to every manager how to do it. You look at Walter Smith against Celtic. Half the time, Celtic were all over us, but he knew how to beat us.
Yeah,
It was we would have 2 counter attacks all game, and we
yeah,
would score. You know,
yeah.
aye. Yeah, I know. Well, there is that as well. It is,
100%
but
of that one. That's bang on, Jim.
aye,
90
aye,
squad quality and depth. And
aye.
you know,
But
that's
that squad now
made
is
it
full of
up.
players at 50, 60, 70, 80 million in this day and age.
Well, we'd a lot of that time in the 9 in a row. We had a lot of good young boys coming through the for
Aye,
the
true.
reserves, and they couldn't break into the team. Like Big Duncan Ferguson was an example when we signed
Aye,
him. He couldn't get in because of Haitley McCoist.
aye. That was one that Duncan Ferguson. That was it was just a whole crap situation, you know. Because he was dying to play for Rangers because the Rangers died. I remember the first time he scored, he started greeting. You know, it was. But from what I understand now, he's got no interest in Rangers at all. And I find that quite sad. But that's football, isn't it? You know. But what game? I'm trying to put a game on here. But sorry, I 1-0 Leeds. I've got that on now. But has anyone got a coupon on? I forgot to put a coupon on. But I am pretty bad at coupons, as everyone knows. Well, we're supposed to have wee Tam on, but he's not appeared. Right.
Must be
So
busy.
I must be, but we're talking off screen, but it's not. Young 19-year-old lad. He's just he's got a new bird, so we'll see. But he messages. Hang on a second. Right, there we go. That's cheap. I need to get him a visa done. There's a guy just messing with prices for a visa. It's £1,000 for a retirement visa, man. But anyway, aye. So are you right this year? Ossa. Where is it again? Is it
It's in
Australia? Isn't
Adelaide.
it?
Adelaide,
So
yeah.
are you going over to? Are you going down to it?
I'm going to go. I'll be there. Last weekend in February.
Last year in February.
So
Aye.
this is one of the first Ossers. There'll be a Rangers Celtic game on that weekend, so it'll be a good one to go to.
I would be that. I would. Aye, that would be good. What players are going? Or ex-players?
Oh,
Fergie
now you
probably.
got me. Well, John Brown's going anyway because the supporters club in Adelaide's named after him.
Aye.
So Bomber will be there. I think Ian Ferguson's going. I think he's another one.
Aye.
I don't know the other ones.
I'm sure. I'm sure I've seen Charlie Miller there and all. They kind of. You kind of know. I think there's Marco Negri as well. But I think when it comes to all that, Bomber's the kind of senior one out of them all. I think he kind of keeps them all in check, if they like, because I remember when they were in Hong Kong that time for the Hong Kong Sevens, which was the best. That 4 days was amazing. The young team were there, the under-19s, they weren't allowed out to the last night, and that was Bomber wouldn't allow them out. He said, "You're here to win this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the last night they were all out in their tracksuits, and Bomber always had a half eye on them in the booth. It was a pub called Mes Amis. Bomber always had an eye on them, and I think it was Ian Ferguson said to me, he says, "No, when it comes to this, Bomber as a senior, you know, aye." What was this? What James was James saying? that's I know, but the thing is, it's different times now. The money we can't. Yeah, like I say, can you imagine how much it would cost us to buy Marco Neg, even Marco Neg or Moles now or something like that? It's 20-30 million pounds, like, you know.
But when you think of that, Frankie, right? You look at it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really know much about Michael Moles or Marco Negri until they signed for Rangers.
Aye.
You know what I mean? So obviously our recruitment back then was better than it is now.
Absolutely.
See guys like that, you know?
Aye. The old-fashioned stand at the side of the pitch with your mac on, your jacket on, and watch a guy play for. Why do you need stats? The stats are on the pitch. What if the kid's playing well? Somebody's going to want to pay more money for him. It's not other side and this XG and all that. I'm like, listen, the Rangers Journal guys, they are brilliant, right? I do look at their stats, but at the same time, though, the only kind of stat I really care about is 1-0, 2-0. You know, it's the goal.
Exactly.
The goals.
That's the important one.
I know.
Yeah.
And if somebody's playing well for us, for argument's sake, for us, well, Joe Rovell's our player of the season, somebody's going to come in and look at them. They'll obviously have access to videos of him and say, right, give me him. You don't. I know it maybe mean you're old farts and stuck in the ways and all that, but potential and all that, potential's watch on the pitch,
I was quite excited when we signed Joe Rothwell at the start of the season. I thought this is a good way to go. Get him in. He's experienced, and he's another one. I think he's come in and he's underestimated Scottish football, and he's just the pace. It's just a lot quicker than what he was playing in. Plus, I think he was getting played out of position as well, and I think he's just now decided it's probably not for him. His body, he's another one with the body language I don't like.
Exactly,
because he's more trudges about the pitch.
He's like a number 8, a forward thinker. He's a link between the back and the front, and he was even more forward sounding player. And it's like, and he would take the free kicks and corners and all that. But it's just, it's like, I wonder if there is an element of homesickness, or it's the badge, the shirt's too heavy and all that, And we're not very, as a wife there, not very. We're cruel at times to be honest, John. We're a bit too OTT at times.
No, I just think we've gone this last sort of 12, 13, 14 years, and it's just been, one disappointment after another. We do another recruitment or another sort of clear out every transfer window, and we're still not getting it right. We think 3 years ago we were in the final in Seville. That team now would piss that league. If we had that squad competing in this current league just now, we'd be walking away with it now. With Morelos and Goldson at the back, Bassey, all these guys, we would wipe the floor with this league.
I know,
but again,
the American, sorry, there's a slight lag, and I keep interrupting by accident. I'm sorry, but the Americans will get it right, because the fact that Mr. Kavanagh's still here, he doesn't. When I say he doesn't want to be here, it's not that he doesn't want to be here because he doesn't like Rangers. He's got other things to do in the States, because I've got no idea what other business he's involved in, but he's probably involved in charities, and his phone, he's probably got 3 phones, but he's still here. Why? Because that's micromanaging.
Well, I think the AGM's coming up, is it not?
But even that, he's been here a few weeks now. Even a few weeks now. He could fly in, fly out for an AGM, All right, there we go. There's a thing. But he's still hanging about, and I'm pretty sure it's a private jet he fly. I mean, he's not flying EasyJet. You know what I mean? He's still hanging about. And if I was Thelwell and Stuart, I'd be nervous with him hanging about. You know what I mean? Which we all want, because we want him out.
I don't think these guys bother these days. I think that, like even football managers now, they know that if it doesn't work out, they'll get a payoff and they'll get another job straight away. They'll look, so they're sort of getting rewarded for failure.
Oh, it's annoying, isn't it? It's and I think when the fans group had the meeting with Kavanagh, I think it was Heart and Hand or Davey brought up, says, look, once the song starts, it only ends one way. And it is. I mean, Thelwell get to hang it was pretty. Oh, yeah, that's right. You didn't hear it. See, at half time, the other day, just come up to half time, and just after I think it was the second half, that was extremely loud, by the way.
Was it?
Oh, absolutely. Is he going to Darvo, my mate owns him. John owns Commandant Bakeries. He owns Darvo. We John saying thing, but yeah. Leeds aren't hopefully happy with what. I know it's, but I just wonder if he's here. He is here doing interviews for potential, CEOs and all that. Because those two won't resign. Because as you say, they resign, no money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, off you go. Whereas if they do get sacked, they'll get 100% or 70% of their severance.
Unless he's lining people up behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Because obviously, if the two of them go, then there's a big void at the club. It means that the what's his name, Kavanagh and Parag Marat would maybe have to come in full time till they get somebody in. So I don't know whether they're maybe just getting things behind the scenes sorted, and then say, look,
there you go.
we'll let you go, and we're bringing this guy in, and a guy can come in straight away. You know?
Aye, because there's a bit of me thought if they were going to go, if they were the transfer window's coming up, if they were going to go, they'd be away already. Because you can get the new guy in to do it with his little black book of contacts. You know what I mean? It's hard to call. Let's be honest, it's really hard to call. See, Dundee refused the tifo. So on you go, John.
I think the transfer window in January is going to tell the fans a lot about, you know, which way we're heading. And I know January is traditionally not a great window for getting players. It's more sort of loan players, but it should give the fans an indication who's targeting the players, whether it's Thelwell or whether it's Danny Roll.
Yeah. And I think in January there'll be two taxes. There'll be the January tax and the Rangers tax. And whether Thelwell might have to go, right, that's no bother. He will, because he will not, like, a guy in that position doesn't like to fail twice in a matter of months, because it's very public for him as well. So that doesn't do him good in this professional position as well, where it's the 49ers or he's a head of charities or he's on the board at Microsoft. You know what I mean? Because these guys all know each other anyway, I believe, at that sort of level. But the big boy from St Mirren's, who I would go all out for, Gojan, you know, the defender.
Gogic.
I think he's a bit Gogic. I think he's 32, no hairs and graces, does his job hard as nail, Eastern Southern European mentality. We need a guy like that. Who's that? Say it really. I've got the Leeds Forest game on. Aye. No, right. See with the tifo, right? Why didn't they just phone Dundee and ask? You know, I mean, there is that, and I don't like that because I love the Union Bears. They should have phoned up and asked, "Are we allowed a tifo?" And the dealer said, "No, sorry," and then that would have been it. You know, that's because I know there's a lot of money and a lot of effort put into that. Timo Werner, I would take anyone as, to be honest, if he's free. Aye, the spine, basically. Yeah, you know, I've heard people say they want a new goalkeeper. I would like a new goalkeeper, but I can't fault Butland that much. There has been mistakes, but he's doing all right. You know, he's probably our player of the season.
No, it must be hard for him. He's got a different defence in front of him near enough every game. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Plus, the defence isn't. It's not great. I don't think it's a good defence.
I mean, I think they're honest. You know, because Suter puts a shift in. It doesn't mean a player can put a shift in. It doesn't mean they'll play well. Look, John, let's be honest. Me and you as old farts, we would put that shirt on and run our bollocks off for about 7 minutes, then die. Yeah. You know what I mean? We'd probably get nutmegged twice, score our own goal, and pull 3 hamstrings. But we would try our heart out. But it doesn't mean you're good enough. You know what I mean? Because I do believe they are trying. I can't say I've seen a player that's been hiding, really.
No, I'm not saying they're hiding, but I think some of them shrink a little bit when you go on the pitch. You know what I mean? It's just too much for them. Especially if there's a setback, we lose a goal or we're under pressure.
Connections. I know that's the thing. Danny Rowe, I mean, if again, Germany, the Germans are Germans, you know, they're good at anything they do. Like, it's being a mechanic. And you all know German stuff just works from top to bottom. You know what I mean? And but we'll see. Danny Rowe will have his players. There was, I don't know if you saw this, and I get a WhatsApp from a few people. No, yes, I know it's WhatsApp. There was a rumour, and this could be started by anyone. Rowe said to Thelwell, look, I want this chap, please get this chap in January. And Rowe, Thelwell just said no, offhanded. Now, that can just be people making that up and all that, but it's, you know, keep on his toes. The thing is, though, see, getting 2 top-class keepers, it's hard to do.
Nah, you never get that. I mean, your backup keeper, we'll get Liam Kelly, and I think he's a decent backup.
Yes.
I mean, he should be pushing Butland a bit more than he is. That's maybe a bit it, but I can't see you getting, unless this goalkeeper's better than Butland. Is Butland going to be a number 2? I don't think so. I know
it's a hard one to call. I like Butland. I think he's a good senior pro as well. You know, he talks extremely well. He's obviously an educated guy. You know, and he's anytime he talks, I listen. You know, my wife, she's trying to put me off. The thing is about my wife, when we went to Scotland, she discovered shortbread. So there's
Aye.
the 7-Eleven's lady that likes she likes the shortbread. Anyway, but I'm all right. Okay, it's just it's so hard to call this, isn't it? To read the Americans, but my saving grace and my heed is Mr. Kavanagh doesn't want to fail twice so quickly. And as I say, the Rangers tax and the January tax might have to pay. We might have to pay more than 50% over what players worth in at January. Aye,
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's the thing. The, what's happening in this Forest one? Aye. But how do you see the game going today? Trying to, from what you've seen, I think I'm sitting here confident we'll win.
I think it'll be a bit like a bit like the Hibs game a couple of weeks ago. I think it'll be a bit end to end to the game settles down. But I think we need to be creating more chances to win the game. You know what I mean? I reckon Dundee will have a couple of chances as well. They've got that boy Simon Murray who's just an absolute pest.
Aye, go for him. Try and get him.
I think he's a bit old, but look,
But
we missed a trick with Shankland. Shankland was the biggest fucking
John, that's one of the worst things, and as a Rangers fan, not the worst things, but that's up there in the last 10, 20 years. Why? The guy's free. He didn't sign on with Hearts, and I saw that as a come and get me. You know what I mean?
He was.
You see the guy at
definitely.
Ibrox?
Yeah.
You see him at Ibrox games?
Yeah. Definitely, he was hanging on for Rangers, and then he obviously must have realised it wasn't going to happen, and he's re-signed with Hearts. So we won't get him now. That ship sailed.
I know, unless we pay silly money. Who's that? Aye. Okay. All right, aye. I'll take that. Like I say, I try not to, I don't post stuff on the page because in case it goes wrong, but aye. The striker from St Mirren, right?
Aye.
I mean, he's not. Aye, on you go, John.
It'd be interesting to see how they go in the final against Celtics at the minute. I think if they play it the right way, they've got a chance of winning it.
Yes, aye.
They can keep putting balls up to the big guys up front. There's the two up front, the two big bruisers there. They'll give their defence a bit of battering.
Aye. But the thing is, Celtic can do it as well, because where I was sitting at Hampden last week, I was row C right at the front. It was quite interesting. It's not often I've watched games from that sort of position in a stadium, but I don't like saying this, but McGregor, I was in line when I see when he hit that, you heard it. The actual strike. It was like holy moly, like it was something. That's another one because McGregor's a die-hard Bear growing up. His dad's got a season ticket in the main stand, But anyway, I could. No, I know, and Connor Barron. Listen, in the league so far, Danny Rowe hasn't really get much wrong. So I feel we've got to give him that leeway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will see what happens. Like I'm not a wee Tam. I'm going to put his, when I see what he was supposed to be on. Listen, wee Tam's. I'll give him a wee bit. He won't mind me saying this. His granny passed the other day, so a few days ago. So he's maybe dealing with that. But I phoned him earlier, messaged him and said, "I'll come on tonight." But we all know, and he's 19. The wee man's 19, and we all deal with that kind of differently. So I would never ever slag the wee man off. Tam's a brilliant wee guy. You know what I mean? But, aye. But what's this? Forest game's interrupted. Oh, I think that is my Twitter's telling me to talk me a lot of crap. But today is a vital game today. I think Celtic are on after us, aren't they?
Are they a late kick-off then? I thought they were earlier. They'd be earlier.
I don't think so. I think they play Kilmarnock, don't they? The thing is, I think they're on the same. Aye, the thing is, the Man City Liverpool game's on at that time, so I'll be watching that. That'll be a great game. Yeah. Thing is, here was the thing. I thought after the Rangers game, I'd get a taxi down to my local. But the thing is, on a Sunday, my mates that drink in that pub, they've been out down the beach. It's 1 o'clock this afternoon, so there's no way I'm going to join them sober. You know what I mean? Because it's listen, they're brilliant guys, but you know yourself, John.
Aye.
There's Rob from Melbourne.
The team. Just put it away there.
The Curtis.
Damn,
Right, they're an hour after us, right? An hour after us. That's a weird one. Maybe they're live. It doesn't matter. But I never ever watch them, even though doing the page. I should watch more Scottish football and get to know more players. But the thing is, do you believe that we should have more Scottish players in the team? I don't really buy into that as such. You know, I mean,
I think there's a lot of Scottish players, you know, that over the years we could have signed, and they keep saying that all your sort of TV pundits and all that. They say it's a bit snobbery. Celtic get accused of the same thing as well, that no signing local talent, and then buying in. Like they've got, in my opinion, there's got to be somebody in Scotland that was better than Robin Proper, and we're going and signing this guy and then letting him go the next season. Do you know what I mean? So why not bring somebody in, like you just said there, Gogic? If we're going to have Robin Proper for a year, and then to me it's a wasted year with him. Put Gogic in for a year. At least you'll get a year. I think better than Robin Proper.
Absolutely.
And I know Gogic isn't Scottish, by the way. I know but he plays in the Scottish.
He knows the game though. He knows the game up here. But the thing is, is there 5 Scottish? Right, we would need. I don't know why. If half the team's Scottish, is there 5 Scottish players out there good enough to win us a league? Well, there probably is, isn't there? You know, because but Europe though, that's the thing. It's a difficult one.
I see it. The Tims are the same. They signed that boy McCowan, and he's for Dundee, and he's not really getting a game. You know, they bring him on as a sub here and there. So I think this, you know, there's a sort of over reliance on foreign players. And we're now in this habit of buying players for the English Championship that aren't even getting a game down there. So it's not really a good sort of recruitment policy.
I know, but these guys. I mean, I tried to defend them. There is good players there. I think a lot of the players, the Rovels and that, once they go away, they'll probably play well again. It's this jersey, and it is hard. And that's the jersey is heavy because of the club's history, and Ibrox can be tough. The thing about Ibrox, right? We all say Ibrox can be heavy, but I'll tell you what. See, when you're playing well, there's nobody else better to play football. You know.
Yeah.
That's quite a good shout there, Emilio. Yeah. We're not getting Shankland though, but I know. But you're right, Paul. You're absolutely right. Yeah,
absolutely right, 100%.
The problem is, a few weeks ago. Oh no, it was not a few weeks ago. A few months ago, Rangers had a youth player. I don't know anything about the youths, right? But there was a youth player just went to sign for Newcastle, and he was going to. Like we said earlier in the podcast, he's a multi-millionaire overnight, and I'd never heard of the kid. You know what I mean? It's and I don't blame them. Like we said, we don't blame them. You know, and as a father, John, you'll be the same. Like my kids don't like football, but I say a son that was 17 and he was at Rangers from when he was 6 to 17, and Chelsea come and say, "We'll give you £4 million." I'm like, "That get on that plane, get down there now." You know.
But some of these boys are disappearing as well. They're going to these clubs down south, and you know, they're still young boys. Don't get me wrong; they could still do something in the game. But
you're right about Callum McGregor. You can't. That's a good football player. And like I said, Georgie, he's a Rangers man as well. Can't grab a bear. The story, I believe, was that I won't say who told me just in case it's wrong, but he said his old man used to be in the Copeland rear, but once McGregor, his son, signed for Celtic, Rangers moved him in the main stand because it was a bit more, you know, not that he was in danger or anything, but aye. Right, there we go. This is a huge one.
There's loads of players that we used to have in our squad. You know what I mean? I mean, that boy Mulligan that's gone to Hibs, he apparently was told he was getting signed with Rangers. I believe it was Barry Ferguson getting. And now he's away playing for Hibs. I mean, don't get me wrong. When we played them the other week there, I was trying to keep an eye on him and see just what we've missed. But it didn't really have a great game that night. I don't think. You know.
Aye, but like they all have bad games. Like, see, the no reserve league. I mean, I totally, utterly agree with this. Because when I think my first experience of Rangers, because I was from Dunbrec, just up the road, we could walk down. I went to the reserve games before I went to the first team because I think it was probably free or whatever it was to get into the main stand. I'm pretty sure that was my experience, and there was like 3, 4, 5,000 in the main stand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Well,
it is.
we had a
On
chat
your,
about that down in Sydney at the weekend. There was a lot of us Bears got together today and yesterday, and that was one of the things we spoke about. That was back in the day the reserve league.
Hey.
Like if Rangers were say playing up at Dundee or Aberdeen, the reserve game would be on the same fixture with the reserves would be on at Ibrox, and they would be getting the crowds just as you said, Frankie. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
it's just not there anymore. You know.
I remember there was a game at Parkhead. It was a Rangers Celtic game at Parkhead, and they get rained off, and everyone went to Ibrox, and there was like 2 cops there, and it was
Yeah.
just absolute.
Bedlam.
I'm not going to say too much, but I think there was a few sore heads the next day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's one. I'll always remember the copper. You know the roundabout at the Brooklyn Road.
Aye.
The copper
Aye.
was just standing there looking, and there's bodies everywhere. But yeah.
No, brilliant.
Aye. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. Let's see this gentleman. Robert, look, this whole when I say I'm retired, I'm sort of semi-retired. I'll only do jobs out Asia way.
Robert, I'll be down there watching the game in Melbourne in 2 weeks.
There you go,
I'm
man.
getting down to your 15th anniversary.
Yeah. But I'll certainly because listen. Before I don't earn a lot of money through Facebook, and I'm just monetizing YouTube. But with my savings and all that, and the money I made for the flat, I've got a few quid. But I still need to. Like if a job comes up in Singapore for 10 days on X amount, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I certainly want to do podcasts like that because I'm going to do one with Wahin. There's a couple of other. I don't want to say too much in case it doesn't happen. But I'm also doing stuff that's maybe not quite your thing, like the DJ and music stuff and that. That'll be YouTube. I won't put it on my Facebook page. But it's but I want because the only time I've been to Australia was last year, and that was offshore. I had 24 hours in Perth, then up to Darwin, then offshore, and Perth was lovely, man. What I got the roads, you could have held the Formula One on the roads. They were that smooth. There was no graffiti and all that. It was yeah. So the girls, how you doing, Andrew? Aye. But aye. Right, listen, that's nearly 1:45. That's 40 minutes. I'm going to boot wee Tam's Boz. Right, but that's good. That's been good, John. Let's see. I'll go and get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. But we'll do this again,
we'll talk soon,
right? Because we're both. I'm a bit closer to you time wise now. What time is it there?
1:45.
1:45. So I'm 1:45. So I'm for your 3 hours ahead. So it's kind of good. Again, there's 148 of you. Thank you very much. Do us a favour, go to my YouTube and subscribe and all that rubbish. You know what to do. Right. Cheers, John.
All right. See you, Frankie.
Cheers.
Take it easy.